All right, so we are joined here with Chris Thorp, cooking food right now, rocking it, multitasking. Chris, man, give the league a quick little intro of who you are, what you do, any random facts about you that we should know before we get on with this.
Well, I'm Chris Thorp. I've played in the league for, nearly 5 years now. And I'm cooking some sort of squash soup and some chili right now. So, yeah.
Sounds very appetizing right now. So, what was the first team that you joined the league on?
So it would have been Blood Red back in 2013, I guess. Yeah.
So that was with Boris and Ann, and was it Phil Glazier was on that team, maybe?
Yeah, Boris and Phil, Numa. I don't really remember everybody's. I actually only played with them for one season.
Okay.
And then after that one season, I had so I moved from Canada down here to the U.S. and my master. Right? Actually, I'm from British Columbia. I went to university near Red Deer, Alberta.
Okay.
So, anyways, my master plan in moving to the States was to, join a hockey league and impress all the girls with my hockey skills because it wasn't happening in Canada. So,
did it work? Is the question.
Well, I mean, you'll have to judge things by results, and I think it worked out really well for me. So.
Oh, did you meet Brittany through hockey or?
I actually met her outside as a church function.
So there you go. So hockey skills very unimpressive is what you're saying.
So. After that first season with Blood Red, I created my own team and brought, 9 or 10 people into the league, and we had a rec team that we put together. And the only person still playing that I brought in on that team is Brittany. So worked out for me. So yeah.
It's not bad right there. So the most pressing thing we've got going on this week, there was a tournament in Feasterville, Pennsylvania here, the North American Ball Hockey Championships, excuse me. So let's get a quick little recap of what you saw, the results, anything that you experienced right there. I know you had taken on a pretty significant role. So let's tell the league what had happened.
Well, yeah, so let's see. So DC Surge men's team, this was the first time I put together a team for any of these tournaments actually, and I've been on a couple of men's teams before, and we've last year at the same tournament we went all the way to the rec finals, which is like the lowest division finals. So when we put together the team this year, I was hoping to maybe if we could be like at the top of the rec division, or sneak into the novice division, which is a division up. That, and I was really, really happy with how it went. We had essentially a new team. Most of us had never played together before, and we ended up winning 2 of our round robin games and got into the novice division, won a playoff game, and then we lost 3-0, which they scored an empty net goal with like 2 seconds left. And in reality, it was a 1-0 game till about 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. And there was a shot from the point that was like on the ground the whole way, deflected a couple times and went in. So we actually were really quite competitive. And the team that won the championship ended up beating the team we lost to in overtime. So we were right there with some of the good novice teams. So I was really, really proud of how the team came together and the efforts from everybody. So yeah, I'm excited to hopefully run that team back and keep it going again for the next tournaments, and we'll see where it goes.
All right. Who were the superstars on that team? Who played the best? Who deserves the most props and the most accolades?
Well, I think on the team, like putting it together, I actually didn't really feel like we had any one person that stood out that was head and shoulders above anybody else. I think that all the lines.
I'm going to interrupt you here. Speaking of head and shoulders, there was an all-star superstar who was signed as a power play specialist who is known for rocking the head and shoulders, who came up huge in the first game for the team, I believe. Who was that? Help me out here.
Yeah, you must be talking about Tway. He wears a headband and everything.
Exactly. He put the team on his shoulders, scored a huge goal.
He did score. So Tway actually ended up joining us. Like the day of the tournament, we had another defenseman drop out. So Tway thankfully stepped in and played real solid for us. But
He played great.
no, Joe,
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing with you, man.
you also played great, especially that first game. You had a goal and a big assist. So that was good. But no, like when I looked at the team, we wanted to have a team that was fast all the way through all three lines and competitive, and I think that's what we got. We ended up. It took us a few games to get them together, but Alex Schutz, Austin Hennelly, and Adam Gehring, we stuck them on a line, and that line was seriously dynamite. I think they scored like, I don't know, 5 or 6 goals in a couple 3 games there, and so that was our probably our best line. Austin played great. Alex played great. The last game, he ended up getting a blister on his foot. It was like a 3/4 inch raw blister, and he ran on it and gutted through it. And Adam was running through people. He got himself angry and was just charging through people and forechecking like crazy. Jordan Loftus, our goalie, played out of our mind and like kept us in every game. So I mean, like those are some of the people that stand, but like honestly, like I think you go right through the lineup and we were all pretty solid. Every line scored goals in the tournament. So yeah, I mean that's what you want to see when you put a team together, is that it has a little bit of success and everybody has fun, and I think we're able to accomplish that.
Yeah, I mean with Loftus in net, you're going to get a solid goalie, so that was never in doubt. I personally think Alex Schutz played just unbelievable. I think that was his, I don't want to say his breakout tournament, but if he were to build off that and continue playing like that, he will be, I mean, even more so. I mean, he is, a superstar right now, but he would take it to the next. I mean, he is so good. Alex Schutz really impressed me in that tournament.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he played twice. He was beat up every shift. He did not give up on a single shift, not a single second. He ran his heart out the entire time.
Oh yeah, I mean,
he scored a lot of goals. Oh my God, he scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, the speed he has is just really, really good. And Austin as well, like his ability to carry the ball through the neutral zone, deke around people, was really, really good. I mean, Alex, I feel like we really haven't seen the best of Alex yet. I think that he develops a little bit more stick handling and ball control skills, and he's going to take his game to like a whole nother level. And so I'm excited to see that too.
Yeah, it's scary when someone's that good and trending upward.
Yeah.
So. I mean, Austin played great. I mean, just a lot of Amit played a good game. I mean, good tournament. I mean, like it was really impressive all the way around. And I feel like that team, to almost knock out one of the top seeds in the higher division when, at the end of the day, it was a new team, no real practicing, just kind of winging it to do so well was really impressive. So moving forward,
I mean, that's the thing is that we had one kind of scrimmage practice that we're able to get in. And so we hadn't been able to go over a lot of positional stuff and before the tournament. And so a lot of that was a work in progress. And so when I look at how well we did, I see that there's just like a huge room for improvement in a lot of things. So yeah, that was my dogs.
Which one?
That was Solo. Mario the cat just came in through the dog door, and so they were saying hello. So yeah, we have Mario Lemieux the cat. So
Mario Lemieux the cat.
Yeah.
So moving forward, what is the plan with this team? Are you going to bring it to Beach Bash? Are you going to do something else?
I'm intending to keep bringing the team back to whether it's Beach Bash, and then Holiday Bash, like in North America, the 3 major tournaments. Maybe see if we can find a smaller tournament to go to. I've played on another travel team, a co-ed team, Hat Trick Swayze.
Never heard of them.
So we've been together for, I mean, it was together before I played on it, but I think it's been 3 years now that I've been on the team and gone to all the tournaments and had a blast with them, and so I'm hoping for this team to be another one of the consistent entries and represent specifically the DCHL men's group, because we have a lot of co-ed teams. We have first ladies for the women, and so I'm hoping to put together this team and essentially keep it as a DCHL men's team. So I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Okay. So do you think that recruiting in the future or player development? What's the approach going to be for that?
So what we're hoping to do is maybe get some practices going, for sure at least like once a month, but I'm hoping to do it more like twice a month. And so whether that's at the seminary rink or we're actually trying to figure out there's another couple of roller rinks that we're looking at that maybe we can go to that would be free pickup and has a lot more of a flexible schedule than seminary, because seminary is just getting so busy with so many teams wanting to practice there. But yeah, start doing that. And what I'd like to do is have it as an open practice for, all men who want to come and really work on skills. I think that, like, when I look at our teams that we bring to the tournaments, I think that, like, athletically we're there with anybody, but oftentimes I see us not being able to shoot the ball as well as some of the other teams, and so there's some of these like skills and fundamentals of hockey that I feel like we can really work on and hopefully get all of our teams to another level.
Okay, that makes sense. So you think that'd be more like an open invite and anything like that? What about players who might not be there yet but want to improve? I know I've heard some people say, hey, I wish there were ways we could practice or get better or anything like that. But outside of games, it's kind of hard for some people. So would these practices be like open invite and hey, we'll help everyone, or is it more focused on the team?
No, definitely. Like, maybe there'd be like a couple practices right before a tournament that would be more closed specifically for the team. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, it would be, open invite for any guys who wants to come. And yeah, I mean, we've talked about it, but you and I grew up, and in high school, or when we were kids, we would sit outside and practice in our driveway, stick handling and shooting and stuff like that. And a lot of the players in DCHL picked up hockey a little bit later in their lives and skipped that phase of development. And so, playing games is great because you figure out where to be positionally, how to run, to put yourself in the right place. But oftentimes you just don't get a lot of just simply time with the ball on your stick, just practicing specific things. And so, these practices would definitely have a bit of structure to them. I want to be running drills and working to really improve skills, not just simply going out there and using it as just another scrimmage time every other week. Because honestly, I think all of us get in enough game time. We need to have more time just simply practicing on the skills.
That makes total sense right there. I mean, I think you're 100% correct. Not everyone has been playing since they were 4 or 5, and not everyone grew up with a group of people to play with after school every day, or an ice rink in the backyard, or anything like that. So it is, it's important to help build DC hockey by, building the community and getting more people interested, and kind of developing a pipeline of players who can get better and improve. And you'll see players get better. I mean, you'll see the improvement in the Sunday games and the Wednesday games, and then ideally in the tournament. So I think that's a pretty great idea.
Yeah, and that's exactly that. Like, there's some people that come into the league and maybe they haven't played a ton before, and physically they can get to a level where they're going to be really, really good players, and they just need the practice time. And so once we start doing these camps and open practices, I want it to be invites for whoever wants to come. We're more than welcome, more than happy to have you come. So more the merrier in my mind. So. Yep.
All right, so that's pretty cool. So let's get to know Chris Thorp a little bit more, the Thorpedo, as he's occasionally called.
Well, now that I'm getting older, I'm not sure that nickname applies to me much anymore. So older and slower. So
aren't we all? So how are we gonna approach this? Okay, TNT. This I don't want to rub some salt in the wound here, but This is a team built for regular season success on Wednesday nights. How do you overcome the fact that this team struggles in the playoffs?
I don't know if I don't think that you can say that we struggle in the playoffs, because I think we've won it 3 times now. So in the last year and a half, I think we've won half of the season. So
okay.
So I guess what you're referring to is last week on Wednesday, Crease Crashers beat TNT, and before that we had I think it was a 22-game regular season unbeaten streak going on. Um,
22 games. Oof.
yeah, which TNT is a really really fun team to play with. I think that so at this point I've played it. I played in the league long enough that I'm pretty much only going to play. All the teams I play on, I have fun with. But I really enjoy TNT. It's a really good group of people. And sometimes hockey's a funny game. It's much more than any other game. You get random bounces and funny things happen, and so sometimes you can do all the right things, you don't win a game, and it is what it is. And so, yeah, all you can do is just go out there and give it your best. So, yeah.
Do you think the loss is actually going to be a blessing in disguise to help that team get over the hump? I mean, you mentioned like a 22-game win streak or something like that, but those result in you getting ousted in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I mean, and this is the thing is, so we haven't won the Wednesday league in 2 seasons. So before that, we'd won it, I think, a couple seasons in a row. So the reality is that there's other good teams out there and other good players, and so Crease Crashers, we have lots of good games with them. Barbarians, we've had tons and tons of battles over the last couple of years with them that have been really good. Same with Lord of the Rings. And so, there's, in my mind, there's like absolutely zero shame in losing to any of those teams because they're good teams. There's good players on them. They've been together a while. And so in some ways, it's like if you're going to have a game like that, the game last week with versus Crease Crashers, I felt my team didn't start playing until 30 minutes into the game. In the last 10 minutes, we finally showed up. So if I'm going to have a game like that, I'd much rather get it out of the way in the regular season than have it happen in the playoffs, So, yeah. But this week's going to be interesting too because we're missing Mike and Nat, and all of us played in the tournament. I'm feeling sore. I'm not sure if I'm going to be going much past a jogging speed. So we'll see how it goes, So no worries.
It's a reset game. Neither team's going to be in any rush to go hard. But we're going to switch gears to Sunday. You play for the Ball Hogs, the shocker, undefeated Ball Hogs right here. Very few people predicted the Ball Hogs' success. I was one of them. Just saying. I said this team looks too good. This team looks too good here. Really distributed scoring here. I mean, everyone's doing a great job. Alex, Adam, Becca's got 3 goals and 6 assists. You got so many. I mean, Maddie's got 5 points, and everyone's putting up a lot of points here. What do you think is the reason this team is doing so well and scoring a lot of goals despite not having a real standout individual superstar that is getting the majority of the goals?
Well, I think that there's a misnomer. Okay, so when you look at the scoring on our team compared to some of the other top teams, we don't have a guy that's putting up 3 or 4 points a game. But maybe the reason that is that our best player also plays defense as hard as he plays offense. And so when you have someone like Alex Ortiz, if he just simply played offense and never came back on defense, he could probably put up 3 or 4 points a game. But when you have him back checking as hard as he does, that makes it a lot easier to play defense. And, playing an unselfish game means playing all 200 feet of it, not just simply, looking for points. And when you look at the team that we have, I feel like every single one of them players have bought into that, and they're all fast too. We can all run. We're not the fastest people, but overall, when you look at the entire team speed, we have I think a pretty good collective group there. And so there's that, and I think we play a little bit more structured than most of the other teams in Division 2. And so there's usually a couple layers that people have to break through before they actually get to Mel in net. And so I think that goes a long way to limiting scoring chances. And that helps out a lot.
So if you're going for team MVP, I think we got to go with Mel Maxstein right now this season. She is pretty dominant between the pipes right now. I'm giving her a shout out because she was on the podcast and she was great. She was a superstar and she's insane in that.
Mel's played great for us this season. Nick Moser has played great for us this season. Beck has played great for us. Maddie has played great for us. Matt Chablonski or Chamberlain, I can't remember his last name. He's played great for us. Owen has played great for us. Like, you go around and it's like I feel like it's been a really solid team effort.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what do you think the odds are that you guys are going to win the championship? I'm going to put you on the hot spot right now.
I don't know. I would kind of be surprised if we actually win the championship. I think that there's a lot of the players on the team that this is their first time playing up in one of the top divisions versus players like Keith and Sean Miller and John Gramlich and some of these guys that when playoffs come and you see them take their games to another level intensity wise, it's going to be interesting to see how we can react to that. So I know there's been a couple games that we've played where when the other team comes out really hard against us, it's kind of like a wake up moment, and we end up being down a goal or two because it's like, whoa, people actually play really hard and fast, and then it's like we have to get our game going up to that because we're not quite used to that game speed, and then there's that transition that happens. So we'll see how it goes this season, but if it doesn't work out this season, there's always next season. That's the nice thing about DCHL is that even when one season ends, next week, next season starts. So
It sounds like a lot of Chris Thorp teams are slow starters. I don't know. That's what I'm taking from this.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just my personality, So.
So speaking of your other Sunday team, the White Walkers, aka the Goldsteins, it's been a real turnaround season for this team right now. They are they could potentially get the number one seed this season. I mean, they have to win their game and catch a couple breaks, but it would be a possibility.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the majority of this group we've been around together for years at this point. And it's another really fun team to play on. So that, yeah, you got Keith and Sean, Boris and Jamie. We added this season Alex Roth. He plays mostly at seminary, but he's a really solid player. And then made also change in net. Jordan Loftus is our goalie, and he's been he's a really solid goalie.
Picked up Maddie as well.
Yeah, Maddie's on the roster, and so she's gotten to play a few games. Britt has actually played back on defense, which I think is actually really good for players to play all like the different positions because you just see the floor from a different perspective and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the playoffs there, and hopefully we can make some noise in the playoffs. But we'll see. There's other really good teams. I think there's a number of teams that can win in Division One, and I wouldn't be surprised, So
I don't know. I feel like this D1 division is looking a lot better now than it has been in the last few seasons. Like there's a lot of competition, a decent amount of balance right here, and it'll be interesting to see how this playoff goes. So
yeah, I mean, a part of that is just a function of it being winter, and so the league is the fullest it's going to get. Everybody's showing up. We pull in some players from some different leagues that normally don't play here, and so the talent level goes up a little bit. So yeah, it should be a blast. There's been some this season. I've actually started reffing some games for the first time, but both playing games in Division One and reffing games. There's been some really fun games to be a part of. So yeah.
So speaking about your reffing experience right now, what were some of the biggest takeaways from reffing a few games?
Well, I'd never really reffed hockey before. I reffed a little bit of football and like flag football back in college and stuff. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, when you're a ref, you just simply can't see everything. And so you'd like to do the best job as you can, but you just can't see everything, unfortunately. And the speed of which the ball moves around, like sometimes you even lose track of it when you're trying to like watch other things out of your peripherals and stuff. So I always appreciate it when players show some grace to me when you inevitably make a mistake because we're all human. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't really feel like there's been one like big surprise or anything with reffing. It's been interesting learning kind of the positioning that refs do in hockey and how you kind of move off the boards and kind of cycle back down in the corners to stay away from players and stuff like that. Yeah, and the other thing too, that when I watch the games, and this is something that I thought as a player, and I feel like it's been confirmed by being a ref and watching a lot more teams play. But I really feel that the majority of everybody in the league they go out of the way to make sure that the game is played in a safe manner for everybody. That can be a lot of fun. We can all go to work the next day without feeling sore. Like we're not out there maliciously targeting other players. And the vast majority, overwhelming majority of the league all plays the game, I feel, the proper way. And so, sometimes you screw up and trip somebody up, but it's very, very, very rarely with actual malicious intent. And I it's always good to see good confirmed at other people, right? So yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go before we leave. I'm gonna do a quick little rapid fire here. I gotta get some first instincts that come to your head. So just answer as quickly as possible. Don't think too much about it. Just go with what you think. All right.
All right.
This is my favorite. So all right, Chris Thorp. What is your favorite hockey team?
Like NHL team?
NHL team.
Oh, well, Vancouver Canucks. So that's what I grew up.
Favorite DCHL or MDHL team you do not play on or have not played on?
Favorite team I do not play on?
Yes.
I don't have any favorite team that I don't play on. Sorry.
Well, that is just an awful answer. What is your favorite candy bar?
I actually don't like sugar, so I don't really have a favorite candy bar.
You are the absolute worst at this.
I would take like a good pickle over candy bar any day of the week.
Pickles are really good.
However, now that I'm thinking about it, there's something called a coffee crisp. You can only get it in Canada. That's a pretty solid candy bar.
Coffee crisp is solid. Okay. What is your most disappointing veggie burger ever?
The most disappointing veggie burger I've ever had in my entire life is at a place in Philadelphia called Tiffany's Diner. They cook the vegetables into the burger. They don't actually put any tomatoes or lettuce on the plate with you, so it comes out just the bun and the burger, and all you can see is there's a little bit of corn there, and it is the saddest thing you'll have ever seen in your life.
And they don't even give you a pickle unless you ask for it.
It's very true, very true. It's very, very sad.
Okay. Who is the nicest player in DCHL leagues from your experience?
The nicest player in DCHL leagues?
Yes.
I mean, I think Alex Ortiz is pretty nice, but then once you get to know him, and he starts sending you this video that he made of him winning the championship down in Feasterville at Holiday Bash over and over again, I'm not sure I can say he's the nicest player anymore. So
not Alex Ortiz. That's okay. What is your favorite holiday?
I like Christmas. I like winter, so yeah, I like Christmas.
What is your favorite Canadian-based holiday?
Canadian-based holiday?
Yes.
I don't know. Canadian Thanksgiving. What holidays are Canadian-based?
I don't know. Boxing Day?
Oh yeah, we always went skiing on Boxing Day, so that was a pretty good holiday. So yeah.
Okay. How many pets do you have? 2 dogs and 1 cat?
2 dogs and a cat. I love animals. Always had pets in my life, other than for that brief period when I was at college and I wasn't allowed to have them in the dorm. Yep. Grew up on an orchard. Had it at different points in time. Ducks, goose, horses, cows, dogs, lots and lots of cats. The whole experience.
You had a menagerie going on.
Yep.
What is the
funny farm?
What is the biggest difference you've noticed from the United States and Canada?
That's a good question. I mean, the thing that it still amazes me is just how many people are out here. Canada, there's 30-something million people spread off over the entire countryside. And I remember the first time I drove up to Maine, and you just go up the entire East Coast, and it's just people and one big massive suburbs. It feels like the whole way. And you compare that from driving like north in BC, and it's just, you get miles and miles of untouched wilderness. And so probably just the amount of people that are down here is the biggest thing.
So we're having too many babies is what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe.
So what, if you could make one change in the league right now, what would it be?
I actually really feel the league is in a good place. There's been, I think Suds has worked really hard to make the league competitive at the different levels with the different divisions. And so I don't really have any complaints about the league.
There's got to be something you want to change. Come on. Come on, your dog knows.
Dogs are barking at the neighbor across the street.
You can say what you'd like to change.
I mean, honestly, the one thing that I would like to see is probably more higher end players join the Wednesday league, because it would be really nice to have a fifth team join on Wednesday on the upper division.
See, there we go. That's a legitimate thing you'd like right there. That's good. That wasn't too hard.
These things I have to think about a little bit, you know.
All right, so one final parting question, Mr. Chris Thorp. I know we had to settle for you and not Brittany. She was the ideal candidate for this podcast, but we had to slum it with you. I'm just teasing. Kind of, not really. If you could be any animal, what would it be?
Oh, definitely a cat.
Why is that?
Cats are like the coolest. They don't care about anything in the world. They do whatever they want to do. They're super agile.
Your dog seems to have a problem with this answer.
They can jump high. They're feisty. So yeah, cats are very cool.
Cats can jump high. Well, can't you jump high?
They can chill so hard. So, yeah.
You can't chill hard right now?
Oh, I can chill hard too. That's what I'm saying. Is I try to be as good as my cat at it, but cats can take it to another level, you know. So.
All right. So on that note, we're gonna let you go, and
that's it. You're not gonna ask me any more questions, because you may never ever get me again, you know. So.
Oh, I'll get you next week if I want to.
Oh, I doubt it. So nothing you want to ask me about the league or anything?
Oh, okay. I'll ask one. How tall are you?
6'3" and a bit.
Can you slam dunk a basketball?
At one point, this is. Do we have time for a little bit of a funny story?
Oh, I mean, it better be funny, but yeah, let's go for it.
Well, I find it amusing, and that's probably the most important thing. So I went to a private university, and it was a small one, and so I played on the hockey team for my first year there, and eventually I got kicked off because I was like the 13th forward, only used if somebody got hurt or injured or sick or whatever, right? And eventually we were going to go to a tournament, and I decided to go snowboarding instead. And they actually.
What was this on Boxing Day?
No, this was like around President's Day weekend. And honestly, I'm much better at snowboarding than hockey. So, anyways, I pieced out and went on a snowboarding trip, so I got kicked off the hockey team. Anyways, I went to US for a year, took a year off, came back, and then they decided to start a basketball team. And so the coach of the basketball team actually knew me growing up and was like, Chris, you should join the basketball team. I'm like, Coach, you know that I can't even dribble. And he's like, no problem. This is Canadian basketball. All I need is just like bench players that'll like hit the floor, go after loose balls. I'm like, all right, I like exercise. So I joined the basketball team, and I'm sure everybody laughed at me super, super hard because I could not dribble. I couldn't do a layup or anything. Again, this is Canadian basketball at a small private university, much like I'm assuming hockey is down here. So anyways, by the end of the season, I could dunk a volleyball, but I could never dunk a basketball. Like my hands couldn't like grip it enough to get it down.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's hard to palm a basketball.
Yep.
Do you think you still can do it?
Oh, definitely not. I am way, way slower and less athletic than I was when I was back then. I was actually reasonably fast back then. Now I'm just a weekend warrior, you know. So, believe it or not, and I know this will become a really big shock to everybody when they see me, but I don't actually work out. The entirety of my exercise during the week is going and playing hockey. So, I definitely have gotten slower.
All right, that's okay. You're still pretty quick, and you tear it up in Feasterville. You tear it up on Sundays and Wednesdays. You do your thing. Do you have any parting shout-outs or props or anything for anyone who's listening out there in podcast land?
Well, my dog Solo has jumped up onto my lap, and he's trying to lick my face. So I think he wants some attention, so I probably should leave. I probably should give a shout-out to Brittany because she's the best. And also, all three teams I play on have awesome people on them. And I can't wait to play with you and against you, everybody else. So yeah, lots of fun. It's seriously, DCHL Leagues has been the best thing I've found since I moved down here to the U.S. and playing hockey once or twice a week is the highlight of my week. So yeah, it's been awesome being a part of this community, and yeah, ton of fun. So
All right, cool, Chris. Thanks for doing this, and we will see you tomorrow.
all right, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
So thank you to Chris Thorp for doing that interview right there. And quick little apology here. We had a little bit of a sickness going on, so being able to cover week after week of games needed a little breather in there to catch our breath. So we are going to recap the games for the last couple of weeks here. So Feasterville weekend, March 10th here. The bridge games, always nice. We had Hockey Dead against the Gwendolyn Nightmare. This was a game where Hockey Dead really brought it. 2 goals from Submit, 2 goals from Derek. And that makes it a nice 4-1 game. Sheik with the goal for the Nightmare, though. Glad to see he's on the scoreboard. So that'll be a nice win for the Hockey Dead right there. Street Sharks against the Slashing Pumpkins. Street Sharks bringing it. Goals by Dan and Lindsay and Lawrence and Bobby. So that's 4 for them. Only 2 for the Pumpkins here from John, 2 unassisted right now. So, what are you going to say? Street Sharks getting that big win right now. The Rec Division is a real rock, paper, scissors kind of thing. You know, it's who can beat who. So if you get the right matchups, I think any team will be fine. Right now, after this week, it's 5 teams with 1 point difference between all 5 of them, and then the lucky 7, just a little bit further ahead right there, and that's okay, because any team is beatable, and let's not forget that. Speaking of beatable, the Gwendolyn Gladiators against the Crazy Eights here. I don't know why that makes any sense, but it doesn't, so that's okay. Crazy Eights had 2 goals from Davin, who was subbing in, and made it a 3-1 game for Crazy Eights. Colin had the other one, so it was 3 for the Eights, and Joe Abbott with the lone goal for the Gladiators. Joe Abbott is back and ready to rock here. He's going to take over and be that dominant Joe Abbott self that he is. But in the meantime, the Crazy Eights get outshot pretty drastically. Pete Lane keeps him in with a 33 save performance. And the subs get in there on the week where some of the players were out. We had the Blue Knights against the Flying Hellfish. Blue Knights get goals from Mandy, John, and John again. 2 assists from Ethan, so that'll be a 3-0 game right there. Chris Figueroa with the 29 save shutout for the win. We had the Irate Puck Assassins IPA against the Gwendolyn Arabian Knights here. Arabian Knights get on the board quick. Trisha scores, and then Seth gets 1, and then Submit in some sub action right there. Seth in some sub action as well right there. 3-1 for the Arabian Knights, but Justin and AJ score, making it a 3-2 game, but IPA could not find that 3rd goal. And then the final capstone game of the day, we had the Stingrays against the Goonies here. Stingrays get goals from Lou, Nantel, Sean, and Sandra to make it 4-1. The lone goal for the Goonies was Seth. Played a good game, and another good game in his previous one for Gwendolyn here. Seth really putting up some numbers right there, and then Nantel with a goal and 2 assists. But it's a win for the Stingrays, and a much needed one here as the I don't want to say much needed here, as they're able to jump the Goonies and gain 2nd seed in this D3 division. So we'll see what happens there. Short Sunday had a 3-on-3 tournament, and that was a big hit. There will be a new 4-on-4 tournament and a shootout championship going on this upcoming Sunday, so we'll see what that's all about. Possibly get involved. Let Suds know if you have any interest. But this last Sunday here, we had a full slate of games. We had the Slashing Pumpkins against the Lucky Sevens here. First game of the day, John with a goal for the Pumpkins. That'll be the only one they need, is Chris McKay with a 27 save shutout. Unassisted, so this John fellow here doing a great job here for the Pumpkins. I feel like I keep calling his number. 9 goals in 8 games, leading the team in points. Definitely a goal scorer that the Pumpkins need. So we had the Street Sharks against the Gwendolyn Nightmare. This is an interesting game right here, as the Nightmare get ahead by Matt Kelly, starting out the scoring. Nick Franzen's going to respond. I'll add on to that, and Jake Moore's going to add on. We've got a 3-0 game here, and Gwendolyn Nightmare are going to get the win. A goalie sub 1 with the shutout. Pretty awesome on his part. Don't know who it is. Got to get that player in the system, find out who it is, but that's going to be a win for Gwendolyn. Hockey Dead against Midnight Riders here. Hockey Dead struggling recently, and they were struggling to do a lot of things here. Submit missed a penalty shot, struggling to get that. No one's going to score. This penalty shot breakaway tournament shootout that Suds is talking about, no one might score. There might be zero. This tournament might just go on forever because no one can score goals on penalty shots. But they also could not stop slamming Sammy Berkeley, who had 3 assists, natural hat trick, 3 assists from Melissa Keach here. Big game for her right there. That's a natural hat trick. You don't see that very often. So that's 3 for her, and Justin had 2 for Hockey Dead. 2 assists from Submit, 1 from Anna. But that's a 3-2 game for the Midnight Riders, as they are able to hold on and get a huge win here. Shout outs to Sammy with her shutout, so that's pretty awesome on her part. And fingers crossed that it carries on here. You love seeing someone tear it up in the stat sheet, and hopefully the goals just keep coming here. Midnight Riders won't complain. So we had another edition of the Gwendolyn Civil Wars. We had the Blue Knights against the Gladiators here. This game was Gladiators all day. Eric scores first for Gladiators, but Dominic responds. Whew, excuse me, this early morning stuff is killing me. Dominic responds here, making it 1-1, but Nick Franzen and Matt Kelly scored. Didn't they score earlier for the Nightmare here? These guys are playing hot. And then Juliet gets one on the power play, but making it 4-1. Austin Keach is going to make it 4-2 for giggles and all that. But Blue Knights unable to get back on track here. That was a nice, strong second period. Woo-wee for the Gladiators. We had Stingray Zambroni, so this game was crazy. First half of the game, all Stingrays. Christe scores, Felice, Christe. Standard kind of stuff right there. However, Zambroni's bring it in the second half. They get 2 from Andrew Marshall. They get 1 from Eric Blautzik, and they get 1 from Lisa to make it 5-4. But they could not get that goal to tie it up. So that's it just shows you, you're a slow starter, you will be punished, and the Stingrays take advantage of that. Flying Hellfish against First Ladies Jacqueline. Hellfish get a goal from Jason, and then they get a goal from Chris Zupa to make it 2-0, but First Ladies respond, getting a goal by Vic, making it 2-1, but that's all she wrote. 2-1 Hellfish. Big win on their part, trying to figure out their identity and get going for the playoffs, which are coming up soon. Sleepy me. IPA against the All Blacks here. This game, All Blacks, kind of, playing amazing, playing not so amazing here and there. It depends on the day you get them. The last game was a 7-2 demolition of the Stingrays. Here they had a bye week, and then they respond with a rough loss to the IPAs. 6-1 IPA here. Lisa scores, then Heath, then Lisa again. Cintron gets in on the action. Justin scores. Bill Nardi tries to stem the bleeding in the third, but Chris Zupa is going to finish him off with that 6th goal right there. So that's 2 goals with Lisa subbing and 1 with Chris subbing. So that's a helpful little contribution there. But All Blacks struggled a little bit. And, the bye week will do that to some teams. Sometimes you come back a little stronger. Sometimes you come back just kind of out of sync. And, that'll happen in the All Blacks. We had High Rollers against First Ladies. High Rollers definitely looking like one of the top teams in the D4 division. But They started out strong here. Drew scores from Allison Rapp, making it 1-0 High Rollers. Wendy responds, making it 1-1 First Ladies. Brian Billig for High Rollers, 2-1. Casey Hansen to make it 2-2. Dimitri making it, Brian Bowen from Dimitri making it 3-2. Casey's going to score on the power play, making it a 3-3 game right now. And it'll end at 3-3. That's a goal and 2 assists for Wendy, 2 goals and an assist for Casey. First Ladies getting some offense here, and they were able to keep up with the High Rollers. High Rollers might be the 1 seed. No, they mathematically cannot be the 1 seed. They got 1 game in hand, but they got 2 ties and a loss, as opposed to the Crazy Eights with 8 wins and 2 losses. So that will mean that the Crazy Eights have the 1st seed locked up, and High Rollers could be playing for 2nd, depending on how Stick Magnets do. But we're going Yager Bombs Ball Hogs here. The Ball Hogs dream. Undefeated, still going strong here, kind of. Boris starts out for Yager Bombs, but Matt Chamberlain with a goal to tie it up in the first period. Ball Hogs jump on top with a goal from Becca Newman, but an extra attacker goal at the end by Abdul, going to square it up, make it 2-2. It'll be another tie for Ball Hogs. They don't want to lose, but they've had 3 ties? 3 ties. They'll finish the regular season 7-0-3, undefeated. But we will see what playoffs bring for them. A bye week, if nothing else. So we had Youngbloods Gorilla Gang here. Youngbloods looking to keep the pressure on and make another run into the championship game here. But Andrew Marshall going to start out strong here. Scores in his sub opportunity in D2, assisted by Josh Lerner and Manny. Patrick Noyes going to respond on a power play. Assisted by Megan Brad. Joe Frew going to do his thing, score another goal. Manny's going to respond, making it 2-2. Excuse me, assisted by Austin and Honey. But AJ and Nick Brown are going to throw some goals in there for the Youngbloods, making it 4-2. And that is a huge win for the Youngbloods, as I believe. What does that do for them? That puts them in 3rd place. They jumped the Untouchables and have a strong finish on that one. Puck University, Mercury Rising here. Mercury Rising going to clinch the 1 seed in the D1 division here. Goals by Adam Goldberg, Andrew Marshall again, and then another one by Adam Goldberg, making it 4-1. Josh Lerner with the lone goal for Puck University here. Someone has to tell Puck University that the season is not 5 weeks long here. After 5 wins in a row, they go tie, loss, loss here. So this is a team you might have to hit the panic button at some point right now. Team looked unbeatable, but we have to talk to Captain Joe Frew to see what's going on with this team right now. This is just troublesome, but we'll see what happens moving forward. Redcoats against Lizards here. This couple subs for the Redcoats go off here as Jake Smith gets a pair and Sam Branker gets a pair. Sam making his D1 debut. Pretty strong right there. 2 goals by Kevin Stonecipher for Lizards, subbing right there. The game ends up being a 6-3 game, but there's empty netter involved. So this was a bit of a game. We'll see what happens. Redcoats pretty hot moving towards the second half of the season. And can't complain for Redcoats getting a big win against the Lizards. Going to see what happens in this playoffs here. Their position as a 4th seed. They've drawn the unfortunate Puck Buddies in the first round, and we'll see what happens moving forward. We'll do a real playoff recap and all that stuff next week, so hopefully stay tuned, and if you've got some insight, let us know, and maybe we'll get you on the cast. So we had the Untouchables against Funk Masters here. This is I want to say this was another edition of the Classic here, but Untouchables missing a couple players. Joe Shea and John Gramlich out here. Missing Tamanette. They had Dominic subbing in, but this was a Dan Klein game. 2-0 Funk Masters. Both goals by Dan Klein. Eric Tavener with a shutout here. Untouchables don't get shut out very often, so we'll attribute that to the subs and all that. But that's a huge win for Funk Masters as the winner of this game. Would get a first round bye, and Funk is gonna end the season in 6-3 and 1 in second place here, and they'll get to rest next week and see what the other teams do. Final game of the day, we had Goldsteins against Puck Buddies here. Goldstein's looking good recently. 48 shots, but Sean Rotter comes up huge with 47 saves. Puck Buddies get 2 goals by Jake, 2 goals by Kevin Miller, and 1 goal by Felicia, making it 5-1. So that was a game. The Goldsteins could have jumped Mercury Rising to get the second seed overall, but unable to do so as Puck Buddies really bring it here. So moving forward, we got playoffs for most teams coming up, but since there's a North Americans weekend primarily for men's and women's, it is going to be, for the most part, a First Ladies tournament. So make sure you check social media for updates if you are interested in all that. So we'll see what that tournament brings. There will be a 4-on-4 tournament for this Sunday coming up. Short week of games here. We're able to kind of fit everything. And shout outs to Suds for doing a great job rearranging the schedule for 1 week that was canceled, 1 week that was postponed here. I mean, it's rough when you got to move a bunch of games around, got a lot of moving pieces. You had 2 tournaments where people were traveling to, so he did a really good job for for fitting everything in there. So that's pretty awesome on his part. So we're gonna do some MDHL recaps here. Let's not forget about DCHL's little brother over here. So we had 2 weeks ago here. We're gonna do these recaps quick. We're trying to get caught up here. It was mainly for the Chris Thorp interview, but we'll get it all up and running for you. Lords of the Rink against the Barbarians here. Keep saying this person's name, Sam Berkeley. Not to be confused with Sam Brinker, someone out there. Scores first for Lord of the Rinks. Chris Zupa scores second. Brendan McLean with a shorthanded goal. And 3-0 Lords of the Rink, but Daniel Rubik is going to score for Barbarians, making it 3-1. But this was a game where Lords of the Rink get there. Big win on their part. A lot of the players newer to the D1 division, but they came up strong today. TNT Crease Crashers here. This was the first of 3 installments here. Crease Crashers get goals by Alex Schutz, Doug Simino, and Rachel Apado, making it 3-1 on their part. One power play goal for 5-on-3 power play goal for Adam Gehring. This was a game where Crease Crashers played really well. TNT, it's a little bit of a slow start, but it's a good first installment here. We'll have to check back in and see what happens next week. And by next week, I mean in about 4 minutes because we're 2 weeks behind. Wu-Tang Clan against Green Monkeys here. This was it's read like a day 2 Sunday game. 7-4 for Green Monkeys here. 2 goals for Joel, 4 assists Kevin Foley, hat trick for Aaron Brown in a sub effort. Wu-Tang Clan get a hat trick from Matt Kelly, and just not enough. But 61 shots on that, 11 goals. This was some offense here, and this is what we love to see. We had Islanders against 0 pucks given here. Islanders get 2 goals from Matt Zekman, goals from Tim, Tom, Mike, and Nick, making it 6-2. 0 pucks given, get a goal from Lawrence and 1 goal from Eric. But this was a game Islanders really dominated it start to finish. We're about 7-8 games into the MDHL season. We lag a couple weeks behind, but we'll leave it at that, and we'll recap this in a couple of weeks here. Get ready for playoffs. Let you guys know what's going on. We had the Gwendolyn Black Knights against the Rogue One-Timers here. This was a game. One-Timers, very hit or miss. Hard to figure it out right now. Joel comes up big early on to score 1-0 One-Timers, but Black Knights don't really care. Eric Tavener is going to score. John Carty is going to score. Nick Franzen, Chris S with 2 goals, 1 shorthanded, making it 5-1 Black Knights here. Chris Stockey, I think. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out, but that's a 5-1 win for the Gladiators here. one-timers started out strong, kind of struggling figuring it out, but the Black Knights are in second place right now on Wednesdays, and we'll see what happens. So that was 2 weeks ago. This is last week coming up here. TNT Crease Crashers here, the return. Kind of, not really. Just keep in mind that some of these teams had a lot of players who had played at the North American tournament. Some players were sick, not making excuses, except I am. This was a game where TNT kind of brought it here. Jake Smith, two unassisted goals in the sub effort for TNT. Adam and Amit score, and Michelle gets a goal. 5-1. Doug's going to score for Crease Crashers on the power play, but this game was all TNT. Again, not making excuses, but a lot of sub action. Players were out. Players were kind of bruised and beat up here after that North Americans tournament. But we get to see the third installment. Not Wednesday today, but Wednesday coming up next week, and we'll see how both teams respond. Wu-Tang Clan against Gwendolyn Guardians, all Guardians. We'll just leave it at that. 0 pucks given against Lucky Pucks here. This was back and forth. Lawrence Neubauer scores for 0 pucks given. Kyle scores for Lucky Pucks, responding, making it 1-1. Smith's going to score for pucks given, making it 2-1, but Mike Campo Felice making it 2-2. Griffin scores, making it 3-2 Lucky Pucks, and Kyle with another one, making it 4-2 for Lucky Pucks. And that's how it'll end right there. Lucky Pucks looking good moving forward here. We have Blade Runners against Blue Steel. This game ended up being a pretty strong game for Blue Steel. Here is Boris gets 2, Rachel gets a goal and assist. Daniel with a goal and assist as Blue Steel is going to win 5-1. There were some empty netters thrown in there, so I wouldn't discount the game is one-sided or anything like that. It was a strong game, and a couple empty netters at the end will definitely skew the stats and make it look a little more one-sided. But we had Puck Mafia and the Black Knights here for the final game of the day. Let's get some action and excitement going on right now. Jason Boyd is going to score for Puck Mafia, but Aaron Pollin's going to make it 1-1 for Black Knights. Austin Keach, huge for Puck Mafia, comes up, scores a goal, making it 2-1. Gwendolyn Black Knights running down low out of time, running out of space to score this goal here. So they pull the goal, they get the extra attacker, they send out Joe Abbott. And what does Joe Abbott do? He breaks some hearts as he scores an extra attacker goal to tie it up at 2-2. Joe Abbott, big goal in his return assist from Matt Kelly. And that is going to end the game 2-2 here. Both teams come away with a point. One team's probably a little more excited than the other one for this. But at the end of the day, all's fair in love and hockey. So thanks for staying tuned, checking out what's going on here. We will have another kind of short week on Sunday here. We're going to have a 4-on-4 tournament. We'll try to give updates as we go along. But, from there we will get going on playoffs, and we'll try to do a better job staying on top of this podcast and doing everything right there. A little sick. My voice is still kind of raspy, but, not nearly as bad as it was when I was talking to Chris, as you can tell. Shout outs to Chris Thorp for the interview. It was awesome. Did a great job. Shout outs to his dog and cat. And let's go from there. We'll see you guys next week.